Alright, so before I go into even doing anything, I want to first of all appreciate our instructor. She has been very good. She made us learn really fast. While I'm really appreciating her, you understand, I wanted to learn how to edit videos because I had interest in creating content. I made payments to one, brand like that. And after making payments, I know my experience. After paying the company, to come and still pay them extra and all that to teach you. So I actually got something little for you. Money.
Thank you.
So that's some card. That's why to say thank you very much.
Hey, what do you mean?
So we are asked to analyze the data for Mr. Thompson, Patch and Posse Analytics. So I'm going to go straight to the point because we don't have time. So first thing we're going to look at is the executive summary highlighting revenue growth and product trend. So total revenue analysis and customer overview. Number one, the market in total revenue was 23 million and we had 351 customers, which indicates strong growth. We just have 351 customers and we make this much money. Web engagement, there's significant correlation between web engagement and sales. More people visited the website and they actually bought. So that's a really good one. Number three, revenue distribution by product strategy. Standard paper was dominating. Right about it contributed 41%, into our revenue, just standard paper alone. So we'll put in more money on that. Key trends in class patterns. It shows that towards the fourth quarter, we had upward trend. So whatever we're doing, the campaign strategy we had, at the fourth quarter, I think we should replicate that, throughout the rest of the quarter. So I'm going to go into the detailed methodology and dashboard insights. So first, I'm going to skip this. I'm going to first of all take from the overview and data cleaning. So remember, we first received our data as a Word document, and then we had to create a database on SQL so that because it was a large, in fact, it's about 26,000 rows. So we had to put that into SQL, and then we had to analyze. If I did a documentation after analyzing all of that, I can't go through all of that because of time, but I sent it to Mr. Thompson to analyze what it looks like. So this is what the documentation looked like. I just did about 6 pages. I answered 2 questions in 1 page slide. After doing that, now we have our data in the database. We have to get to Power BI, and our reason for using Power BI was for automation. Okay, so first thing first, I had to import my data, and I cleaned my data, and in the process of cleaning my data, I had to create a new table, because we build a relationship. If you notice, when we tried to connect upward at which was the original, date column, it was giving us one-to-one, and the goal was to get star schema. So I had to actually change that column, like our instructor showed us how to, and we achieved a many-to-one. So that was one of the reasons for creating a calendar table. And secondly, for sorting, remember we had to create a column, a calculated column, so that when we sort using our visuals, it will sort according to the number to give us an ascending. So we don't have August, then we have December, so we can have January, February, March in that order. That was another reason for creating a calendar table. Then we look at the star schema. What really happened, we faced a big problem, when trying to achieve that. So we had to end up having 2 facts table, which was our order table and our events table. Then we connected other tables as dimensions to this fact table. Let me quickly show you what that looked like by the time we were done. Alright, so this is what it looks like. So we have this as our fact table, we have this as our fact table, and then these are dimensions, and these were my dash measures. I had about a total of 13 dash measures, which we used for creating our visuals. So if you take a look at the visual itself here, you see that it's quite interactive. Here we have the slicers, and we should try probably adjust it. So the slicers are working very well. We also had page navigation here. So right now we're on page 3. That's why it's marked as customer engagement web activity. So we're gonna look at other pages. So the first page, the first dashboard, this is literally what it looks like in the picture. What did we really notice? We noticed that revenue was trending upward. If you look at this, you see that our revenue literally was trending upward. We saw that standard paper dominated. If you look at this, we have 9.6. Next we have Northeast leads. If you look at the chart here, we have Northeast by region, Northeast leading. So and then Q4 had the strongest period. Remember I said this earlier that we should replicate whatever campaign measures we had in the fourth quarter of the year into the rest of the quarter. So this is literally my recommendation, for this overview sales overview and other stuff. So next we look at the next, which is customer and sales rep, page 2. So we look at this, we see that top customer EOG. Once you look at this, we have, when you scroll down using the dashboard itself, you see other customers ranking in that order. So we saw that they were top. We saw sales performance peak in 2016. If you drill down, if you notice, this is total revenue by sales representatives. In 2016, our sales rep were doing very well. So we need to find out, what really made them, maybe it was workers and all that, and replicate that. Look at 2017, we had really low sales. 2013, we had really low sales, so we replicate that. Here we have performance did not vary in sales rep. Why I wrote that is because when I submitted my my queries on documentation on SQL, the data was really correct. We saw that this sales rep had social number of accounts. But if you look at this chart right now, the total revenue by total customers in the sales rep, when I used a scattered plot, was just the same. Meaning every customer, every sales rep was literally, just having the same number of customers, which is 351. So that's why we have this straight line. So we're going to look into that. Down towards the end of my presentation, I mentioned that as one of the challenges I faced. But for the purpose of, for us to work very fast, we can always make reference to, the SQL report which I sent. Performance, the last thing was I said focus on high value accounts. When we have accounts like this, it's good to, once in a while we send gifts, you just prioritize, those customers. That's why we have a list of them so that we can, work with them. Next, we have engagement, which is the third, dashboard. And we see that direct channel dominates. Obviously, a total web events by channel, we have direct literally really dominated compared to Facebook, organic, and the rest of them. Web activity peaks in 2016. So we look at the trend here, web activity 2016, did amazing, very well. So I think we should also replicate that, for the rest of the year. Higher engagement, higher sales means our campaign, strategy is working. Because if you look at this, web engagement was about 9.7, and then people who actually bought, the total orders, the difference there is just about 3, so it means our what we're doing in the campaign is doing very well. So opportunity conversion is literally my recommendation, meaning whatever we're doing, we can keep doing it. Because if you look at this chart, the table chart here, we have Ecola, which he visited the 100 at one time, and his total revenue, you see how much he spent. The highest here, which is $382,000, EOG, 89 times. That was when we visited the web, and so let's keep doing. Most of our revenue came from the web. So moving forward, the challenges I faced. So scattered plot issues. I talked about the problem with 351. The account sales rep having the same account. I think I would like for us to. Then schema restructuring. I told him we had issues when we're trying to build. We had one-to-one, many to many, so we had to correct all of that, and that was the challenge we faced, but we showed that out and we ended up having a star schema with 2 facts table. Dates to one relationship. This was when we were working on the dates table where we had occurred at, and it was one-to-one, so we created a new to solve that problem. Column name inquiry. When I changed the column name according to how I instructed the laws to, the data white just go blank. So instead of wasting time, I just had to leave the column the way they were, and then I hit them when we go back to working on it. So basically, that is literally how I put this together. Thank you very much for your time, and yes, it's a wrap.